Hi, everybody, and welcome back for another episode of Unpacking with Sarah. We are here today to talk about discharging your emotions. But before I do that, I kind of wanted to introduce you all to the farm here. I'm actually outside discharging my emotions right now. We can talk about that here later in the show. But I've received a couple of emails, people asking, where are you at with your farm? And so I just kind of wanted to share that with everybody. We are still in the build up phase of the farm, getting fencing in, getting the barns built, getting the buildings in good working order before winter, and it's been a lot of fun. So I took some pictures this morning of some animals so that way you guys can be introduced to them. I did not take pictures of the full size horses because they are way down in their pasture and I didn't want to chase after them for a picture, but I can get those uploaded another time. So let's start with Badonkadonks. That's the one that I think everybody's heard the most about on our show. This is Badonkadonks Bruno, and we don't talk about Bruno. Bruno is 14 two hands. He is a riding donkey, and he's my boyfriend. Please don't tell my husband. He and I snuggle and love on each other every morning. And we've got another fun picture of Bruno, if you want to show the other one, Alex, of Bruno. There's my Bruno guarding his food dishes from this morning and getting his drink of water. He's my buddy. He loves to hee haw at me, and we've probably heard him a couple times in the background in my show because his pasture is right next to my studio. He probably won't hee haw this morning because I already fed him. But he's my buddy, Badonkadonks Bruno. My daughter Abigail claims that he is hers, and she loves to ride him almost daily. So he gets lots and lots of love. The next ones, my favorites, are going to be the goats. These are three of the eight goats we have on the property. You can see a couple more of them. I don't know if that's them in the background or if that's their toys in the background. But I love the Nigerian dwarf goats. They follow me everywhere. And a lot of people have these as pets. They're also a client favorite. When I have clients out here walking the goats and snuggling with the goats and petting the goats, feeding the goats tends to be one of the favorite activities for the animal assisted therapy that we do here at the Daisy Girl Wellness Farm. Um, Next up, I believe we have the chickens. No, I didn't do the chickens. You'll hear the chickens or the rooster. He was crowing a lot. But we just brought home last week three mini horses. So we'll introduce you to the mini horses. So this is Miss Lakota, or what we're calling our Coda bear. You can't tell in this picture. She's a little bit overweight. She's a chunky bear. So Coda bear here is a state champion in 4-H for showmanship, and my clients have really loved taking her for walks because she absolutely loves to move. She's a hard one to catch sometimes, although she's warming up to me. So there's Miss Coda, and then our next mini horse is Lil Trix. We call her Lil Trix because we've got a big Trixie in the pasture as well. Big Trixie is blind in one eye, and Lil Trix here is also a chunky monkey. Again, I didn't get a side profile. She looks like a little mini hippo. And then this one here is Golden Angel. This is Abigail's favorite. He is teensy tiny. They are all miniature horses, and they just joined our farm last week. They're on their dry lot, so that way we can make sure that their nutrition is sound, and they are doing phenomenal. And we're just doing great here at the Daisy Girl Farm. So thanks so much to the listeners who have asked about how we are doing. At the farm. I think that's all the animals. Did I miss any, Alex? If I missed any, throw them up and I'll introduce them. I don't think I did. I didn't take pictures of the dogs, the cats, or the average horses because, like I said, the horses got their grain this morning and now they're way down in their pastures. So we've got just under 60 acres. We've got 57 acres, and about 45 of that is pasture. So we have really enjoyed building up the livestock and all of the other things that we've got here at the Daisy Girl Farm. So let's talk today about discharging our emotions, because when we look at either the Fill Your Feelings worksheet or the top down, bottom up worksheets that we've talked about in your step one, step twos, and step threes, we talk about movement, we talk about discharging the emotions, we talk about meditation or yoga or walking or those types of things. And it's, why is that so important? In the book Burnout by Emily Nagoski, Emily talks about completing the emotional cycle. And the theory here is that oh, the sun's peeking out behind my trees here, which we're going to talk about trees in a minute. Um, but Emily talks about how the brain sends hormones into the bloodstream that trigger our stress response. I'm going to move just a little bit here because that sun is getting me. So let me slide over without dumping my coffee all over the place. See if that works better. I don't want to be squinting at you. Oh, that's much better. Okay. Um, so anyway, she talks about completing the emotional cycle because the theory is that when the brain sends those hormones into our bloodstream so that we can fight, flight, freeze, fawn, flop, or so that we can have these emotional experiences, those chemical changes create an energy in our body that has been there so that we can survive. So if I get scared and I need to run, it's the cortisol and adrenaline that helps me, get up off my tushy and run faster than the tiger so that I don't get eaten. Well, in today's society, we're not running from tigers. We're not outside working as much unless you live at a place like this. I guarantee I definitely move my body a lot more since moving to the farm than I ever have in the past. And it's been really good for me. But most of us don't do that anymore. Most of us have desk jobs, or we don't walk as much as our ancestors have. And so a lot of that hormone gets stored in our major muscle groups, and over time it breaks things down. We get free radicals, we get more stressed, we get more anxiety. I love video games for the temporary fun pleasure, but many of us spend hours and hours and hours on a computer a day, and so we get all this stimulation, but we're not moving our bodies enough or taking a break from those screens and getting outside in the sunshine or relaxing, or again, movement is so important for our body. And so let's talk a little bit about discharging these emotions. I'm going to start with rage because I think that my story when I am raging really helps kind of illustrate things. And many of you have heard this story before. So I have my tantrum tree here at the farm. Alex, if you want to pull up my tantrum tree, there she is right here next to the goat pasture. This is my new tantrum tree at my new place. Now, what happens is when I feel rage, I get a lot of tension and energy in my upper body, and I tend to need to throw things and scream and yell. I used to need to hit. I don't really need to hit anymore, but swinging a bat really helps. I also have black walnut trees and apple trees. And so, what I will do is I will come out here when I am raging, and I will literally scream at this tree. And this tree does not judge me, it just stands tall. And I will throw black walnuts at it, and I will cuss at it, and I will scream at it. And yes, I'm being mean to nature. The tree is okay, I promise. And I get that energy out of me. As I throw, as I kick, as I scream, I calm down because I am utilizing that energy. Now, I also want to talk about, if you see under this tree, the shade, I'm actually sitting right next to it. It is right there. This is also where I do my morning meditation, my yoga. I sit under this tree. This is what is that book by Shel Silverstein, The Giving Tree? I hate that fucking book. Hate it. Hate that book. Not a fan of it at all. Okay. But this is my giving tree. This is the best friend tree that I sit under, I meditate under. I have taken a nap under this tree. And this is the tree that I pass hundreds of times a day as I am feeding and watering the animals, as I am out here with my children as they play. I will actually flip my camera around so that you can see. There is my son Hayden's dog, Tessa, who will sit under the tree with me as well. All of my animals love to be under this tree for me. Why is this so important? Because the way that we complete our emotional cycle, meaning I feel what I'm feeling, I've identified it, I know where in my body I'm feeling it, I've identified what it feels like. Now what? I have to do something with that. If I didn't have a way to discharge that movement or the meditation or the yoga or the napping or whatever it is that I need to do to get that energy out of my body so that I can return to my baseline, I end up snapping at my family. I end up taking that energy out in ways that I don't want to, that I'm not proud of. Other things that we can do to help our body when we need to discharge energy is nutrition. And one of the things I love about living on the farm is that we have an apple tree. Alex, if you want to pull up our apple tree. Nutrition is about staying away from highly processed foods, eating nutrient dense foods. Now, my kids love that apple tree. And actually, right in front of it is another apple tree, but that one got struck by lightning. So it's looking pretty sad. I didn't put that one out here. We got to come and prune her up, and hopefully she'll come back to us next year. But my children now know that if they are hungry, they come out here, they pick the apples that have fallen to the ground and that are rotting, they pick those up and they can throw them wherever or whatever. We're actually planting some apple seeds today after school because this Jonathan apple tree puts out the most delicious apples ever. And so we're going to hopefully grow some more from seeds. But the kids can come out and grab their apples and throw them around or kick them or whatever, stomp on them. But also they can know that whenever they are hungry, they can pick apples off the tree and eat them. So my recommendation as you're working to discharge your emotional um, energy is to move, whether that be stretching, walking, running, bicycling, lifting weights, or if you're like me and you need to throw a big raging tantrum, throwing black walnuts at a tree. Or I used to throw knickknacks I would go to thrift stores and buy knickknacks that meant nothing to anybody, and I would throw them in a certain spot of my yard where the kids all knew, hey, this is mom's tantrum spot, so wear shoes over here because of broken glass. We would clean that up regularly. Oh, my chickens are doing naughty things in the background. My chickens are X-rated. The rooster's trying to bring in more chickens right now into the world. Um, but anyway, as I would tantrum and throw those fits, what I'm teaching my children is that it's okay to have big feelings, but also that we need to discharge them in safe environments. Now I throw black walnuts and apples because I have those available to me, and it doesn't harm nature at all, which I'm very happy about. And the other thing is nutrition. Make sure you have food in your home that is nutrient dense, that's non processed. Apples, oranges, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, lean meats, grains, nuts, things that are very healthy. As we bring those into our body, we can replenish our energy stores so that way we can return to baseline. All of this you do with breathing at some point. That breathing is so important. Remember to slow your breathing. Inhale for 4 to 5 seconds, exhale for 4 to 5 seconds, or do those prolonged exhalation exercises where you inhale for 2 to 4 seconds and exhale for 4 to 6 seconds. That will help you. Um, that will help you to re-regulate, get those big emotions out of you so that you can relate and connect with the people around you better. Remember, we did put out a breathing video on YouTube with me demonstrating how to do those breathing exercises. We will put a link to that video in the show notes for you so that way you can scroll down and grab that. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at daisygirlcommunications@gmail.com or visit our website. It is almost back up to normal, almost ready to go again. But it is looking really good. You can find that at daisygirlcommunications.com. And as always, if you or somebody else you know is struggling with a mental health crisis or they're victims of abuse or domestic violence, the numbers are scrolling at the bottom of your screen. The lifeline is 988. I had a client the other day say they called it and that it was absolutely wonderful for them. So please do that. Oh, my AC kicked on in the background. The child abuse, National Child Abuse Hotline. You can actually Google this and how to report child abuse in my state, and it'll pull it up. And most of those can be done online. But we also have the 1-800, the number 4 a child, and then the domestic violence hotline. Here we go. I don't know that one off the top of my head. It is scrolling across the bottom of your screen. Alex, let's see if we can get that one. Let's see if it's on there. I do not have it scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now. But if somebody is in trouble in a domestic violence situation, instead of calling the national hotline, you can always call the non-emergent phone number for your county or city's sheriff or police department. There we go. Domestic violence is 799-SAFE, 1-800-799-SAFE or 7233. Thank you so much, Alex, for getting those numbers put together for us. want to just reiterate your homework for this week is to find a way to healthily discharge and complete the emotional cycle. Movement, stretching, relaxation. If you are like me and you need to throw a tantrum on occasion, find yourself a tree or another safe area where everybody in your family knows mom can throw a fit and nobody's in trouble and nobody is unsafe. And that is a very important thing to do. Thanks so much. And we will see you next week, Thursday morning at 9 o'clock Central. Bye, everybody.